What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 84. I'm your host, Kevin, aka The Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined by the future of esports himself, Amon, with a brand new microphone. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing as awesome as ever. Hope I sound as awesome as ever.
You
And yeah,
do.
guys. So yeah, I'm doing all right.
Sounds great. But we're also joined by Mr. Physical Copy himself, Ethan. How you doing, buddy?
You know, I'm doing good, Kevin. I got a brand new hat today. My beautiful wife, Kendall, bought it for me for our 3rd-year wedding anniversary last Tuesday. So we're celebrating 3 years of marriage. It's been wonderful. I got her a bunch of roses that cost way too much, by the way. I don't know why these flowers cost so much, but they do. But, you know, it was a fun time. So I'm ready to get going and talk about some video games with y'all.
For sure. That's me every time Valentine's Day comes up. I'm like, why are flowers so expensive? I can just
It's a ripoff.
I can just walk out and pick some.
I'm going to grow my own. I'm just going to buy the seeds, grow my own.
Well, guys, we also have a special guest this week. He is the creator of Taye Talks YouTube channel, where he discusses the news in the gaming sphere and provides excellent video essays with insightful commentary. He's a lover of the Mass Effect series. I want to welcome to the show Taye Talks. Finally, Taye, how you doing, buddy?
Hey man, thanks for having me for sure. Appreciate everything that you guys have been doing. I've been watching you guys for a while now, and I have to say I love it. I love everything you guys have been doing, and you guys have been growing steadily, so that's perfect.
That's awesome. I'm happy to finally get you on the show. I love your videos. They're very insightful and thoughtful, especially as a lover of Mass Effect. And I know you just did one on Starfield too, so maybe our audience can head over to the Taye Talks YouTube channel if you wanna see a Starfield video. He's got a great one up, so check that one out.
I also did a Starfield video on my channel, so check that out as well.
You gotta start. You got a channel.
No, on this channel, on Project X.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to get in cheap plugs.
Everyone, I think,
go straight there. Subscribe. You know I love your content. I love everything you're saying, man.
he's like Amon's number one fan. But guys,
Amon speaks. He speaks sense a lot of the time.
You're lucky we're not talking about Halo Infinite today. We're gonna get riled up.
Yeah. Remember, guys, if you like the podcast, we're live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube, and also over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Project XTalk. Head over there, give us a follow. But if you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time on all your favorite podcast services. While you're over there, please drop us a review and a rating, whether it's on Apple or Spotify. It does help us grow. And if you leave us a 5-star review, we will read it live on the show, just like Seradius did, who says, quote, "If you're looking for experts about the Xbox platform and new games that have come out on Game Pass, you've made it to the right place. I'm loving the Paramount Plus Halo show reviews too. Can't wait to hear what the boys thought of episode number 8. So this obviously was posted before our review went up last week, Ethan. I wonder.
I hope that person wasn't too positive on it.
But if you want to interact with us more, guys, please join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. And finally, if you want early access to all our content, head over to patreon.com/Project XTalk. And for $1 a month, you get all of our content early, plus the Patreon shout out. So thank you to Bucky Blue, Hopple, and Alpaca Tom for supporting us. We appreciate all of you. And another congratulations to our Trek to Yomi giveaway winner. My name is Shane. I have provided you with the funds to get Trek to Yomi. Congratulations, and stay tuned for more giveaways, guys. I enjoyed doing it, and you guys seem to like it. So now that we got housekeeping out of the way, Taye, as our guest, I go and ask an Xbox-related question. So I want to know, what was your introduction to Xbox, and what is your favorite Xbox franchise?
That's a good one, man. My introduction to Xbox, you know what it was? I was always a GameCube. I was always a Nintendo kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, I knew about Xbox, I knew about Halo, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really care, right? So I get home one day, and my mom, she says, "Oh, I got you a games console." So my neighbor didn't want their Xbox. So I'm looking at this console at the corner, right, and it's just big and ugly. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And the controller is humongous. And I'm thinking, I gotta hold that. And I just remember just leaving it aside, like, no, I'm gonna stick with the GameCube, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point I'm thinking, you know, everyone's talking about Halo. I've seen the video, it's supposed to be good. And so I stick it and I play it. And I honestly, like, Halo 1 was probably the most, how can I say it? story exciting game I've ever played. Like at that point, I was so blown away. I felt like I was like the star of my own movie. It was that good. And after that, I became an Xbox guy. I became like an Xbox fan in that sense, right? So for me, that was Nintendo and Xbox. And I
absolutely
really I didn't care about PlayStation.
Solid. That's interesting because I think we had a similar childhood there then, because I was very much Nintendo, GameCube, and then the Xbox was introduced to me late, and then those kind of became my two ecosystems that I was going to be a part of. So that's interesting.
You see, the difference though is like, so when Xbox 360 came out, it did really well. And in Europe, it was good, but it wasn't Microsoft's strong suit, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, then I had to switch to PlayStation, because if you want to play friends, you want to play FIFA, that kind of stuff, you got to go to where your friends are. So so I became a PlayStation guy. And then when the Xbox One came, well, maybe we're gonna talk about that. But I got back into the ecosystem because there was a lot of things Microsoft was talking about that I liked. It was this idea of Game Pass, right? And I was like, oh, they're shaking things up with this Game Pass thing. And then it was the idea of xCloud, and I'm thinking, these are all different, and it's getting my attention. And I think probably the most important thing is because I got back into the ecosystem, not because I got a Series X or S on Xbox One. I got back through the ecosystem with Game Pass and xCloud. So I got Gears Tactics on the PC, first of all.
Great game.
My PC couldn't run it, so I just automatically stopped it. I felt like it was one of those games you wanted to play, with low graphics or whatever, right? But then I got Scarlet Nexus on my mobile phone with the Razer Kishi. I think that's like the genius of what Microsoft is doing, right? Because they can grab these consumers from PC gamers, Nintendo gamers, all with this Game Pass and xCloud situation. So well done to them for that. And I didn't get the Series S, but I ended up getting the Series X, which is obviously like what I'm gonna do instead. And I got the Series X, I got Game Pass, and I got xCloud, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's great.
That's awesome. And Scarlet Nexus, phenomenal game. I
didn't finish it.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
Because at some point, I think I was 45 hours in, and I was like,
it's long.
I don't have time for this. Like, I looked at like where I was in the game, and I was like, I'm gonna be like halfway through. No, I can't do this. I just don't got time. So I just YouTubed the ending, and there was that. I mean, funny enough, I YouTubed the ending, and the first thing that came to my mind was like, I don't think the ending is that good. I was kind of pleased that I didn't spend another 40 hours to get that ending. So, but it was a good game, gameplay wise, anyway.
That's so interesting. I think I did both pass and got the 100% in less time than that.
That's wild, because I probably put in 40 hours just for one of the characters.
Nah, man. You could beat a story arc.
And then you have to restart the game, basically.
You could beat a story arc in like 14 hours, man.
I mean, if you don't stop and smell the roses, Kevin.
Every JRPG game I play, I do everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking to people. I'm just running around. I'm trying to like get all these little, this random little things. So I never finish these games. Like, I'm playing Assassin's Creed right now, and at some point I told myself, no, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, I'm 154 hours into Valhalla, and I still haven't beaten Ragnarok. So
the Assassin's Creed games, I always say, are like the newer ones, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Like, I think they're a few steps away from being like legendary good games. They just need a better focus.
Right.
They're really, really good games, and they have a lot of content in them. I mean, Orlog, the little dice game.
Orlog, love it.
Amazing game. Like all these little things, like it makes the game work. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, I'm playing that right now as well. Dope game.
One more thing I wanted to ask. I heard you mention FIFA. By any chance, do you support a team in the Premier League?
Of course, Arsenal.
Yes, my man.
Guy,
man. I knew I liked this guy. I knew I got him.
Arsenal, man. That's what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. This season ain't
I only
good.
have one word for you. Enjoy the Europa League. While
we're chasing 4
trophies. While we're chasing 4
trophies,
man,
right?
You guys can.
But the thing about Arsenal is like we've been taking a lot of smack over the years, so I'm kind of used to it, to be honest. At this point.
Well, I've been used to it more. I was a Liverpool fan until from like mid 2000s to like 2018. Up to that period, we were terrible. There was a Steven Gerrard slip. A lot of stuff happened during that time. But yeah, I get what you're saying
about Liverpool is that I remember I was in work years ago, right? And when Jurgen Klopp got like announced to go to Liverpool, I remember I was telling them this director who I work with, I was like, he's too good for you. You guys suck. Like, what the hell is this? Like, and he was like, that's really hurtful. Why would you say such a thing? And I was like, yeah, but it's the truth. And fast forward years later, like, what do you know? Champions League, Premier League.
Yeah.
Could win another
To be fair,
Champions
I was
Mhm.
pretty skeptical about him as well. I'm skeptical about any Bundesliga manager because that league's easy. You know, so
You would say,
Yeah.
Easy if you're Bayern Munich.
yeah, I think what Bayern has done has been quite impressive. They managed to dominate, right? And I think I know this is an Xbox podcast. Why are we talking about football for now? Like,
Tangents.
I was gonna say, like, you know, there's always this idea that the Premier League is like top quality, right, compared to the other leagues, and it's a little bit. It's true. It's a lot more entertaining, but I don't know about quality per se, because when you look at the Champions League in the history, right, you look at like Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, right, and the commentators always said this. They always said that Spurs, Arsenal, and, you know, all these other teams, the lower league teams, they're better than Spain's and Germany's, like, you know, like third, fourth place teams. But whenever we came
That is
across
true.
them, but we always lost because we Arsenal, like, we will play Spurs will play Valencia and they'll lose, and then United will go to the Europa League and they'll lose. They always lost to these teams in the Champions League. So I'm thinking, what's a false narrative? It has to be.
I mean, I think La Liga is just right under the Premier League because they have a decent bit of competition. You know, Real
I'd agree with
Betis,
that.
Villarreal, they're pretty good. But I'm talking more Serie A, Bundesliga, the League One in Paris.
It changes. I think like the quality, it changes every few years. Like Spanish teams were worse than German teams a few years ago, right? And now like we see a shift. But we're gonna get off the soccer talk.
I haven't been more lost in my life, Kevin.
After one comment, Chevaruni over on Twitch says Spurs.
Yeah, because I live in San Antonio, so the first thing I think of is basketball when you say Spurs. So.
I watch some basketball. I don't really get. I mean, the guys over here, they all get into a lot more, but like they just keep me up to date with like what's going on. So.
One more thing, it's Kyle. Can you please tell me what team you support?
Oh, I can. Manchester United.
All right, okay.
I knew this guy was strange, man.
I'm sorry, I can't talk.
All right, guys, we're gonna transition and start by asking one simple question. That question is, what you playing? So, Ethan, I'm gonna throw it over to you first because we just made you listen to some footy talk. What have you been playing this week?
Not a lot. There's not a lot to play. I've been playing a lot more MLB The Show 22 just because it's there and I can, you know, it's a simulation baseball game. Been playing a lot of that. I got started on Citizen Sleeper though, which I tried on the console and I didn't really care for, but I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to try it on PC. So I downloaded it through Game Pass on PC. This game's meant to be played on PC. All right, it's a lot easier. The controls are a lot easier on PC using the scroll wheel, actually just clicking stuff. And it's actually a really fun game once you get the pacing down, once you get through the beginning areas and you can start going fast paced and you know what's going on around this map. And yeah, it's just a cool little point and click RPG adventure type thing. It's nothing crazy special, but it keeps you engaged. So I'll probably be playing through that. While I wait for the new platformer Kangaroo game or whatever that's supposed to be coming out later this month that I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah, for sure. I see Aman antagonizing our chat right now. But I've heard good things about Citizen Sleeper. I know Matt over from the PlayStation Drive and Burnout Brighter, he really loved that game. He was tweeting about it the other day. So if you want to talk to someone, you can talk to him about it. But I do know he enjoyed it. Aman, I'm gonna go over to you instead of you going at Chevaruni and Kyle in the chat.
I know we're not gonna get to 400 like this, Aman. Come on.
What have you been playing?
Well, first of all, let me just address this.
Oh my
God.
Ronaldo
is heavily linked with Bayern at the moment. Bayern are the front runners to sign him if he does leave United. The rumors all say it. So it's Kyle. You can go cry. But what have I played this week? I've played Greedfall. That's all I've been playing. I'm I'm in love with this game. I think it's a masterpiece, especially the storytelling of this game, the way this game delivers it. I absolutely love it. The animations, again, are a bit janky. The walking thing is, again, a bit janky. The combat, I think the combat is better than Dragon Age Inquisition. And I like this game a lot more than Dragon Age Inquisition. And I think I like it more than all the Dragon Age games, to be honest. But yeah,
going against my BioWare, you gotta be careful there, Amon.
I mean, no, Mass Effect is great, but I think Greedfall, this Spiders, the studio behind it, they've done really something really special behind this. And right now they have 2 games in development, Greedfall 2, and there's a game about the French Revolution with robots. So that sounds interesting as well. Yeah,
So it's funny that you're comparing Spider, like this game, to the old BioWare games, because Spiders is pretty heavily inspired by those old games. So if you like games like Dragon Age and Mass Effect to some extent, like storytelling wise, like the way they do RPGs, you might like this game. For me, I thought the jank was a bit too much, but I'm glad to hear you're liking it. I don't know if the word masterpiece is in the equation. And I assume he's responding to it's Kyle in the chat, and that's why he's no longer listening to me. So, Tay, what have you been playing, man?
Well, before I get to that, would you guys consider Greedfall a AAA game or AA game?
No, AA for sure.
AA, yeah.
I think the fact that it's a AA game and the fact that that game is that good, I think like they're primed to be acquired. I think like if you give them the right budget, like they'll come up with something special.
It would be a good studio to pick up. I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
and I don't think it would be that expensive either.
No, they feel to me like something Embracer Group would pick up, because they love picking up those AA studios. So
yeah, you're right. So in terms of what I'm playing at the moment, I was giving Citizen Sleeper a look. I'm still gonna give it a shot, but I haven't really got into it yet. But I haven't really played it that much, to be honest. I'm a very, like, whenever I get in this state, I'm very Android focused. And what I mean by that is I play like quick games like Gwent. Like Gwent is the game I just keep playing over and over.
Oh again.
Yeah. I'm not buying cars, not really doing any of that stuff, but like I just love the quick combat, like play somebody, like all that dueling stuff. So that's primarily what I'm playing at the moment, and Citizen Sleeper should be. I imagine by next week I would have maybe like at least 10 hours in it also. But right now I'm just chilled with Android games.
Interesting. Okay, well, I will finish us off. And I've had a pretty lackluster gaming week, to be honest. I've been busy in some to some extent. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so I've been preparing for that. Not looking forward to that surgery, but I just haven't had the I don't know. Every time I turn something on, I'm like, I don't want to play this right now, because I feel like we're in a very big lull for games.
Yeah.
And if you ask me at the end of next week, when I will be playing KO the Kangaroo, I will probably feel different. But right now, I'm like, I don't know what I want to play. I was talking to our friend Sean Capri, and I was like, do I do a tournament bracket like you did to settle what game to play? Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, do I play Chorus? Like, I'd have to buy it, but do I find something on PlayStation Now or whatever? So I did play Sonic the Fighters through PlayStation Now. It's an old, I think Dreamcast game. It's a fighting Sonic game, and I literally just played it because online said it was like a 30-minute platinum. So I was like, all right, I'll get a 30-minute platinum. And then for the last trophy, you need another controller, and I only have one controller, so I didn't get the platinum, and I wasted a lot of my life. So not happy about that. And then I've been playing Tales of Symphonia on Steam. This is my favorite JRPG of all time. I've probably played through it 18 times. But when in doubt, return to Old Faithful. I'm gonna load it up, and I had a 29-hour save, and I just hopped back in. I was like, I know what's going on. I remember this puzzle. I played this game 16 years ago. I know what's going. I know everything. So I've been playing that. Put a few more hours into it. I love that game so much. If you haven't played it, you can get it on Steam usually for like $3. It's a really cheap game at this point. But the chat has been saying, Kyle says, play Little Witch in the Woods. That just came to Game Pass for game
early
preview.
Access. I refuse. I'm not doing it anymore.
It's fair. It's fair. It's like, It's like Stardew, but you're a witch in the woods. That
It looks good.
doesn't-
I mean, it looks like it's fun, but it's just the fact it's early access. And, you know, there's a time and place for early access. I get it. Some people need the funding, you know, to continue development of a game. But like after the nightmare that Grounded has been, and it's like, okay, you expect me to play this game for 2 years almost, and then, you know, get excited when you release 1.0. Like, I don't care anymore. So I just don't play those early access games.
Well, it's piquing some interest in the chat. Bucky Blue
Yeah.
says, "Oh, what's that?" And Cheveruni says, "Sign me up for that."
Hey,
so
knock yourself out.
It sounds like a Tom game. I think
it does
Tom
sound,
would really,
Tom would like
Tom
it.
would really be into that. Yeah.
And that's how I know I wouldn't be into it. It's not a Kevin game. I'm gonna steer clear of that one. I'll find anything else to play. I will go. I literally am like, do I want to buy Sonic Colors? Like I'm in a Sonic mood, guys. Nobody understands.
Sonic Colors Ultimate was terrible. Don't get it.
Oh, was it really?
It was just, it's boring, and they didn't even like upgrade the cutscenes at all. It's all the original cutscenes, and it's just like, it's boring. It's the same game, but it's not even that good of a Sonic game. I don't even know why they had to remaster it or whatever.
That's a bummer. It's a bummer.
If you want to play good Sonic games, go play Sonic Adventures and Sonic Adventures 2.
I've already played those.
No, I'm just talking to the chat in general.
Okay. I was gonna say, what do you think? What do you think? I'm new to the Sonic world. It Just Works podcast says Halo Infinite Season 2 has been fun. Still missing content, but it's fun.
Still missing content.
But
the
it's
story
free.
of its life.
Yeah, that's not about the Halo Infinite. It's free, so I don't really complain too much. I mean, like you can say it's a bad free-to-play game, I suppose, but it does have the fun element in it. And I think was it a good move to put it as free-to-play? Yeah, because I don't think even if it wasn't free-to-play, I don't think they had content for that game. The multiplayer.
Oh.
So I think Microsoft are like they're extremely clever. Like they're very, very smart, because the way they managed to get Halo Infinite, everyone talking about it, you know, after the whole Battlefield thing dropped and you know, dropping Halo, and Halo was, everyone thought it was good or whatever. It was a very, very smart play, because like that whole November, December period, I remember like thinking, they really have so much mindshare with this game. I don't think the game is that good, but they have so much mindshare, and that's coming off the back of Forza as well. And I'm thinking, clever. But now, obviously, they're getting all the crap on people saying, "Oh, it's not ready," whatever. But the thing I always say is like, gamers are very in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, in the future, when you drop something good, like they'll just come back and they'll be there. So I think. Halo Infinite, I will go back to it and play it, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought it's a really fun game. I do enjoy the combat. I do think it's a really good game. But they dropped the ball obviously on other aspects. But anyways, this is not Halo show. Let's about some other stuff.
No, absolutely. And just one last comment. It Just Works added, definitely a bad move, but at its core, the game for audio, visuals, gameplay is peak Halo. Also, the campaign delivered, unlike Halo 5, which, hot take, I know I've said it before, Halo 5 gets a bad rep. Campaign wasn't that bad. Halo 4 campaign, however, is atrocious. I know it's unpopular.
When you guys talk about the Halo campaign, like, so obviously, like I said, I just go back into Xbox, you know, into the whole ecosystem and recently. So I missed out on Halo 4 and all the other games.
You didn't miss
about
much.
The campaign.
Don't worry about it.
When you talk about the campaign, are you talking about like the story, or are you talking about like everything around the campaign?
The story of the actual campaign for 4. Well, I didn't. Halo 4 kind of changed up the art style a little bit for Halo. It was the first 360 Halo, right? And I didn't like it very much. The Prometheans, is that what they were called in Halo 4? I just don't like the enemy designs in Halo 4 are awful to me. Like they're not fun to fight. They're annoying. You fight the same boss about 4 times in that game. I
got a question then from some small person played Halo in years. From an aesthetic standpoint, what looks better? I don't mean graphical. I mean like just like aesthetics. Halo Infinite or Halo 4? Like the other Halo games.
Oh, Halo Infinite.
Infinite for sure.
Infinite for sure. Oh, it's Kyle corrects me. Halo 3 and Reach were on 360. Yeah, I meant more. The last 3. Yeah, that's what I meant. Last 360.
I find that statement very interesting because not to go in a Halo Infinite, because my issue, one of my main issues with Halo Infinite is that it's so plain. Everything looks the exact same over and over again, and I think that really hurts the game. The lack of biomes really gets to me. And I remember watching one of the trailers for one of the Halo games, and I saw like lights, I saw colors. I was like, this looks cool. And then I'm playing Halo Infinite, I'm like, it's just grass and grass and grass.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Really hurts the game.
That's a fair criticism. The lack of biomes in the story mode is definitely, because it is just the northwest Pacific.
Yeah, like Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest and Forerunner structures. Like that's literally all the campaign is. Yeah. But Halo 4's campaign isn't. It's basically just Promethean and Forerunner structures. Like there isn't much in there either. So it wasn't done very well. I agree. No beach biomes or snow like Assault on the Control Room for Combat Evolved. Yeah, I went back and played Combat Evolved before Infinite came out, and that has every level's different. Like it's different biome, different type of thing going on.
Game.
Yeah,
amazing
for sure.
One thing I did want to say, Kevin, you brought up enemy variations and variety. I think the boss battles in Halo Infinite were absolutely amazing. They had a variety of different bosses, and they were all different. They all had their unique style, their unique way, their unique combat style with them. I don't think that was there in the previous Halo games, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're not. Like your boss battles weren't really done in the previous.
Yeah, it was mostly like heavy waves of tough enemies, really, that they would make into boss battles. But you're right about Halo Infinite having those varied boss battles, and it also helps that you have all these different tools at your disposal, like the grapple hook and like the different weapons that you can get. It just makes it a lot more fun, adds some more flair to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Really good.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the things Halo Infinite did really well. Enemy variety.
I think my issue with Halo Infinite is just that when I think, as everyone's saying, like, Chief is back, Halo is back, and I think maybe I wasn't looking for him to kind of like the franchise just come back. I was more looking for something different. I wanted Halo Infinite to have, and maybe you guys would disagree with this, but I felt like it didn't have the same wave Breath of the Wild did, the same wave Last of Us did, the same wave God of War did, in terms of everyone being like, this game right now is a step towards something. It lacked that for me. I played the game and I was like, I don't feel this game has done anything special. And that was my issue with the game overall.
I get what you're saying. I think it was a half step, if we're being honest.
Exactly.
Like, they added a lot of things that were heading towards that, like the grappling hook. I can't imagine playing a Halo game without a grappling hook now.
You play an original Halo game and you're like, where's my grappling?
The open world aspect of it, great. Like, and I don't even like open worlds that much, but I think it really worked for the Halo. But then they kept the linear mission like designs where if you went into like a tunnel and for a main mission, like you got cut off, you couldn't leave at any point. So I think they took a half step to try to blend it. For me, I think this is one of the best Halo campaigns like to play. But I completely think that's fair criticism.
Cal says The Last of Us was a nice, huge step towards what I don't want in games. How you gonna say that? Like, what you mean what you don't want in games?
He thinks The Last of Us 2 is awful. He liked The Last of Us 1.
But see, I'm talking about Last of Us 1. Like, I'm talking about that franchise as a whole. I just felt like Halo. Put it this way. This is what I always tell to people about Halo, right? My non-Xbox friends still don't care about Halo, right? Like, they don't think it's that. They don't think the game was that good. That's number one. And number two, I asked some of the guys, like, would you recommend Halo as a €60 game or $60, whatever you want to call it? Because I can't really personally. I think if you like the gameplay, that's cool. But I feel like no. I'll tell them to get on Game Pass. But I feel for me to tell somebody like, yo, get this game for €60, I think I fall short of that. That's where I fall. That's where Halo stops for me. Game Pass game, amazing. Everything else.
Yeah, if I didn't have the attachment to Halo like I do, I probably would tell somebody not to pay $60 for it. I just wouldn't. If we're being completely honest, especially the state that it's in right now. But Tay, I wanted to go back to something you said about how Halo Infinite didn't feel special. It didn't take that big leap that we all wanted it to. And, I don't want to compare it, but I mean, comparing it to Halo 1, 2, and 3, all three of those games were special. Those were huge leaps forward in terms of first-person shooters, in terms of multiplayer, everything about them. They were absolute masterpieces. 343, they struggled a lot. But, with Halo Infinite, I think this is the first time that we've seen at least a half step forward from them, which, makes me excited about the future. But you're right. It was not that special game that we think of when we think of Halo 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, you're right. I do think that I'm looking forward to the sequel.
How many times are you going to bank on them to make that other half step?
You're right. And 343 has, for the longest time, upset me. It's worried me with the IP. I don't think they should be using it.
See, I think if I was Phil Spencer or Bonnie Ross, I would hand Halo over to either. Who are the people who make Doom again? Their
id
name is id Software or Machine Games. I think I would hand Halo over to them.
They're different shooters. They're different. We've talked about this. It's different.
Yeah, but it's better than what 343 could do. That's what Halo needs. It needs a reinvention.
I don't know. In terms of gameplay and combat, I think 343 is good. I think 343 has honored what Halo is with combat.
It's nothing that's gonna bring more people to our platform. That should be Halo.
In terms of storytelling, is where I think 343 really drops the ball. I think they should. I like their combat. We just got done talking about the grappling hook and all these awesome things.
Yeah. Okay. But in the grand scheme of things, Halo Infinite as a game, is it a game that that's gonna bring more people into the platform? I know Starfield is gonna be that type of game, but is Halo Infinite really that type of game?
I think it was supposed to, but I think their what's the word? Their roadmap is just, it's not filled with enough content. Gamers nowadays have much shorter attention spans than they did back in Halo 1, 2, and 3. That's just a fact.
I have to disagree. I don't think Halo is the Halo we knew back in the day.
No.
Halo's no longer the main ship, the flagship property of Xbox. It is, but it isn't the thing that's okay, we need the new Halo to sell our consoles. It's just going to be an IP that exists to it's one of our strong IPs, but it's not something that's we need this to be our God of War. We need this to be our The Last of Us. People buy PlayStations for The Last of Us, right?
Then why market it as the face of Xbox?
Because it was supposed to be there. First of all, it's been the face of Xbox for 20 years. And then 2, it was on the box because it was supposed to come out that holiday.
Yeah.
Because my guys just going at you guys, man. I'll actually agree with him. I think if id made, if they were the guys behind Halo Infinite, it would be a better game.
Even if they just brought in some developers from other studios to help pick up the workload. I mean, I'm not saying completely dissolve 343, get rid of them all and move it, but we need some assistance here.
No, you see, I'm saying I don't want them to.
That's crazy, Aman.
No, I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they should take it from 343 and give it to id. I think what I'm saying is if id made that game, so 343 Halo Infinite, I think it'd be a better game. But the question is, do you take that Halo franchise and give it to a different developer? I don't think. I mean, it's Microsoft. You can do whatever you want to do, right? But I don't think you need to do that. I think what you need to do is just need to look at the management of 343 and see what's going on there. Too many. I was talking to one of my friends about this year, and he was like, "It's not about the ground guys, the guys who are doing the arts, the guys who are doing, the design, whatever.
Exactly.
It's who's on top." Who's making these decisions, and then you get rid of that person and you replace it. And I'm not trying to say someone should get fired or whatever. I'm saying you need to reevaluate. You need to be in the position to say, this game was supposed to drop, and it didn't. It missed it, yeah. But more importantly, when you look at that E3 showing and how the game looked, and the huge backlash,
who made that decision?
Who makes that decision? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at the Microsoft guys per se. What I'm looking at is that, how do you present that as this is what we want to show people? Yeah, that's a bit bizarre to me. So there's something going on in that place, and I think there needs to be a shake-up there. You don't need to dissolve anything. I'll disagree with that.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Maybe we don't need to dissolve the studio as a whole, but I think the best thing for Halo it would be right now have 343 work on their 10-year roadmap, whatever it is. Have that be Halo for the next 10 years. During this 10 years, build a studio from the ground up and
No,
have
we
them.
have too
Yeah,
many
no,
studios.
no.
Way too many.
They
I
don't
think
have enough
I
studios.
definitely think Halo they need to build a studio from the ground up just for Halo.
That's what 343 was. You're describing 343.
No, I mean, but it failed. It failed. Now, hand 343 something else. Let them do something else. Let them do their own original IP, and create a brand new studio. Because unless we're gonna get Bungie back, which is not happening,
Yeah.
I don't see a future for this franchise under 343.
That's a
And what-
take.
And what?
That's a take.
That's a take.
Yeah, but like, no. How can you not agree with me here? The thing is, what other studio would be fit to make another Halo game, if not 343 at the moment?
No. So what I'll say to that is this: like, you're right in the sense of like, do I think there are other studios out there that can make a better Halo game? 100%.
Yeah, okay, a better Halo game, but we're talking about the Halo game, the Halo game that
Okay.
people remember.
Well,
The
you're
Halo
talking
game
about
that is revolutionary. That
you're talking
again,
about
makes Halo
getting
the
rid
big
of
effect.
343. I mean, 343 is not the issue. It's the people inside of 343 that are making
But
these
they've
decisions.
done that so many times.
We have
Chris
how
Lee
many
was in charge-
studios now? Like 30 something studios. We have the manpower. We have the human capital to be able to bring in, some people off the bench to be able to help these guys. And I think that's the audible they need to make right now.
Mhm.
But see, the thing is, again, you're talking about the management. Haven't they already done that? Chris Lee was their head of operations for 343. He was running the charge on Halo Infinite. They fired him. They got in Joseph Staten. Has the situation improved? Yes, a tiny bit. But has it been a massive change? Not at all. So how many times are you going to bank on people just restructuring for the next 10 years?
I look at it in the same way as I look at BioWare, right? And what I mean by that is, promise we will get to the news. Let's get to the news. Let's just get to the news.
Yeah, again,
No, this
sorry,
is good.
about
We don't have a
BioWare.
lot of news today. Yeah.
Now I have to say this because you mentioned BioWare.
Yeah, go for it.
Like about BioWare, they're not the same studio they were, and I'm starting to have those doubts about Bethesda as well. Are they the same studio that they used to be?
No, it's different. They are.
I
No,
don't
okay.
know.
So,
I mean,
so,
I
so let me
hope
not
they
say
are. I certainly
that.
hope
Here's
they
what I'll
are.
say. Like, I don't care. Like, I was talking to my friend about this, right? And he said, like, why would you buy Bethesda, whatever it is, because they're falling apart. And I always say this: I don't necessarily care too much about, like certain. I care about the people. There's a reason why Sony paid, was it 3.4 billion for Bungie?
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, in one of the clauses is that, like, these guys don't leave.
Yep.
We don't, because remember when Microsoft bought Rare and everybody left, all the good guys left. But then what's the point then? If you buy BioWare to work with Casey Hudson and then he bounces off, then what's the point? So I think for me with BioWare, I'm more concerned about, like, who's the creative director. That's it. That's all I care about. And I think that's
But
the most
no one's
important
going to
thing. So
look into that. Everyone's going to remember the name of the studio. No one's
No,
going to
no, but
remember who was working on the game.
People who don't look into that are people who don't know games that well. Like,
Yeah.
like everyone here is
And
everyone here. Like,
that's the mass audience. Isn't that
no,
the
no,
mass
but what I'm saying
audience?
is this year, we're analysts here, right? So when Todd Howard says he's making a game, you take notes. He didn't make Fallout 76, did he? Was he the one behind Fallout 76? No, he wasn't. So you take note when he says, "Yo, I'm the guy who did Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 4." You take note of that, and that's the important thing right there. Because I'll give you an example. Kojima, yeah. When he leaves Konami loses value. When Kojima says, "Yo, I want to create a new studio," everyone flocks to them. Everyone, like, Sony goes to him. Microsoft takes note. Everyone takes note because it's the person behind the creation that's the most important thing in this situation. So when people
I
say,
definitely
"Is
agree.
Starfield going to be good?" I'm saying, well, it's Todd Howard's game. He hasn't done anything that's bad so far, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, again, I definitely agree, but I'm talking about from a general gamer's point of view, not from yours and mine point of view. We look into the industry, we know the industry a bit, but from a general gamer's point of view, what would they think? They're just gonna remember the studio that made the game. They're not gonna remember
The
the
general
developer.
gamer doesn't even pay attention to his studio.
Yeah,
Exactly. I'll give you an example here. My friend is a huge Souls-like fan. He couldn't tell you the company that makes Souls-like games.
He just knows. He just knows what it is. He sees.
He just knows this is a Souls-like games.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Right.
So the general public, they don't really care that, because fair enough, he might say, okay, Dark Souls 1 sucks, right? But what happens when Dark Souls 2 comes out and it's amazing? You're just gonna buy it. End of story. I'll give another example. Activision Blizzard. A lot of my guys who play it, they don't know nothing about harassment or what's going on. They don't know nothing about these things. Yeah, they just buy the game.
Yep.
If I told them like, yo, the Activision Blizzard, they've done this, they've done that, some of them will say, oh, I didn't know. Some of them will say, oh, I know, but I don't really care too much. So I think the general audience isn't that relevant in this situation.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to timestamp that Halo conversation because that was not on the docket.
Hey,
but,
it's good that it happened because
good.
we have a light
good,
news week.
good content, but it is time to get into the news. So we'll dive into the library, have a seat, and I'll grab some books to tell you this week's stories. So, story number 1. Are we getting a Gears of War collection? This comes from Nick Baker over at XboxEra. He says the collection might be on the way, stating, a while back I said there's another Microsoft franchise that's getting the Master Chief Collection type treatment. I am of the belief that it's coming this year and that it's going to be Gears of War. With Gears of War 6 in early development and years away, could this be a potential solution to fill the gap and help Xbox's empty 2022? Ethan, what are your thoughts? Gears of War collection. Thank God we don't have Tom here. He doesn't like Gears of War. But what are you thinking? Could this help fill the gap? Is this something that we need to happen?
For one, yes, it would definitely help fill the gap. It would be very helpful. And two, I think we've seen this coming for a while now. I know there's been a lot of chatter online about the Marcus collection for Gears of War, or any type of collection for Gears of War. And we're seeing a lot of companies do this more as these game franchises get older and older and older, is they want to bring newer generation gamers back into the fold, get them up to date on the storylines. We saw it with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They dropped that. Now they're working on Mass Effect 4. We saw it with Master Chief Collection before Infinite. This is just a primer, I guess, for the audience before the new Gears of War game. And yeah, it has that added benefit of we're now going into the second half of 2022 without hardly any AAA first-party games coming out. This would definitely eat up a lot of time in players' schedules, and it would be a great addition to Game Pass for people just to be able to jump into a single game and play all of the Gears of War. So good move on their part. We've been talking about it for a while, it coming, and I'm excited to play it because I haven't played all the Gears of War. There's a lot of them. I just haven't played them all, so I'm looking forward to getting some remastered ones and be able to experience that.
Okay. I have a different take, but I'm gonna save it. Aman, what are your thoughts on this collection?
Yeah, I think it's the natural way to go with this franchise. Again, Gears and Halo are the flagship Xbox franchises, and this is the natural way for this franchise to progress. I've only played Gears 3, 4, and 5, so I would definitely love to jump back in to 1 and 2.
Who starts at Gears 3? What?
I was like 10, I think, and I just bought Gears 3 because everyone was talking about it, and I was like, okay, let me just pick this game up.
Can you play that game at the age of 10?
You shouldn't be. ESRB tells me no, but
I mean, okay, Tom said he played Mortal Kombat when he was 3, all right? So let's not come at me.
I was playing Resident Evil at all.
Oh yeah, we all were playing games.
Yeah.
That,
I swear, Mom, it's not that violent. The M rating's fake.
Yeah,
I do remember a guy at the store, and I think I was getting Resident Evil. I was getting one game anyway. And he was like, "Can you get this?"
There was this shop
Good.
in when I first moved to the UK. There was this shop here where if you take your game disc and they would change the ESRB rating up for it.
Wow.
I think it was a shady illegal shop. You take your disc there, and they would change the sticker for that for the age rating.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I think they got sued or something, but they definitely shut down. They only operated for like a few months.
I mean,
but
did you participate in that?
Huh?
Did you participate in that?
No, I definitely didn't.
Of course not.
No. Yeah, of course not.
Wink, wink. Tay, Gears of War collection. Is this something that Xbox should do?
I agree with everyone on the panel pretty much. I haven't heard your take yet, but I agree. I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's going to satisfy Xbox gamers, people who are into Xbox, and I think the people who haven't played Gears, who are not big fans of it, but who got, let's say, Game Pass for whatever, Starfield or whatever, right? I think it's a good way to kind of tie them over until when the new Gears game comes along. Smart move. But it really makes me look at like Microsoft has a lot of IPs now, especially when the Activision Blizzard thing goes through. And I'm really thinking that I don't want them to spam, all these remasters and whatever, but it's a really good, especially if it's Game Pass, and it can't hurt.
Yeah.
It really can't hurt if you're like, doing like an Oblivion remaster, right? Morrowind, whatever, Fallout remasters. Like, just go for it, because there's a lot of people who are coming back into the ecosystem, and there's a lot of new gamers that's going to come into the ecosystem. There are people out there who can't afford these video game consoles, right? And if you give them the opportunity to play them through xCloud, well, there you go. Now someone's going to play a remaster Fallout and the Fallout franchise. So I think it's a good play, definitely, but I think they need to do a lot more with a lot more of their franchises.
And we've seen that kind of, they did the Quake remasters recently. So I have a different take than everyone else here. I don't think this is necessary in the slightest. And I'm a little confused if they're going to choose a franchise, why they would choose Gears of War. And I will explain, because Gears 1 has already been remastered. The original Gears is the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. It got the up-res, increased frame rate. So that one isn't needed. It's already done. The Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, they were late into the 360 generation. Just give them FPS boost. Like, what do we really like? If you want to upscale the resolution, like, some of those are probably already looking like they hold up. I don't really see the need to upscale the resolution and then re-release it as a new package. It's not like these games mechanically don't work. The Gears franchise, of any franchise, has been pretty consistent since its inception. Like, Gears 5 still plays basically the same as Gears 1. Like, they're all very similar in the gameplay style. So it's not like they have to go back and fix a bunch of mechanics or bugs.
Like they had to do with Mass Effect.
Yeah, they don't have to do any of that. They don't have to change the ammo respawn rate or the cover system from Mass Effect 1 for Gears. Like, it's the same. And then Gears 4 and 5, 4 was on the Xbox One, that's fine. And then 5 is on the the Series X. Like, it's got the X and S enhancement, and I'm pretty sure 4 got the FPS boost. So I'm looking at this. I understand people want all these games in one collection because it's like one launcher, which would make finding all the games easier. Like, the Master Chief Collection is very convenient. But do I think this is necessary? Do I think this is needed? I personally don't.
Yeah, like I think they wanted to do a collection, right, to get it back into the spotlight. And I think it's one of those situations of, while we're here, while we're making this collection, why don't we just boost up everything and add that to the tagline of, hey, we just up-resed all these games, FPS boost, all the whole 9 yards. I mean, I think it's a good offer, especially if you're just going to put it on Game Pass. You might as well do those things with those games.
Yeah,
I'll say this about it, that coming from a guy who just got back into Xbox, I'm not gonna go try the Gears games.
Okay.
But as soon as you tell me, yo, here's a collection and the graphics are much better, I'll give it a shot. Because now I'm thinking, wait, isn't there a new Gears game coming out? Let me go try this out. I think it's more for that new audience coming through. Because if you think about like Xbox One, so like what, 40, 50 million or whatever it is.
If that,
Microsoft lost a lot of market share. So there's gonna be Xbox players coming back who missed out on some of these Gears games. And I think that's your market. I'm your market, not you. I'm your market.
And I think there's the combined element of, we're gonna have a unified multiplayer. I mean, could you imagine a unified horde mode between all these games? How fun that would be to jump into horde mode again, like you used to do back in the day with Gears 3. So I think that's another huge thing about these collections. We saw it with Master Chief Collection. It is absolutely awesome being able to play multiplayer from 5 different games, in one single game. It's just really fun.
So I think what you guys just said are the two biggest reasons that this probably will happen, because the Xbox Series X and S is outpacing the Xbox One in basically every market. Like, it's bringing people into it with Game Pass, and then they want to consolidate the multiplayer. They want everyone to get back into, because Gears multiplayer used to be a big thing. I remember the 360 Gears of War games,
like,
so
fun.
Hopping on after high school, playing Gears with your friends. Like it was Gears and Halo. Those were the multiplayer games you played before Call of Duty. Obviously, Call of Duty came out, and then we all, everyone.
Modern Warfare 2.
You're playing Modern Warfare 2. That was like but like you had COD, Halo, Gears. Like those were the multiplayer experiences during that time. So those, I can agree with those arguments. If it happens for those reasons.
Question for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think my signal's gonna be off, but like, do you think they could pick a different franchise? Like, which franchise would you rather see them work on in terms of a collection, apart from Gears?
For me, I would rather see a Fable collection.
I was just about to say
I was gonna say that.
A Fable collection.
I would rather
100% Fable.
Because those games could definitely use an update. Like absolutely.
They 100% can. Even the anniversary edition of Fable 1 needs an update. Like there are genuine things to go back and fix. The camera for one in Fable is very frustrating. Like
Yes.
that's the best way I can say it. Like I love those games, but there is genuine issues that they could go touch up and then re-release as a more polished collection.
And they're working to revamp the Fable series, so I mean it would be good timing.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I wanted to bring up. I really agree with what Kevin said earlier about does Gears really need a revamp or a remake collection. I think there are certainly other games that could use that. And I was going to mention Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. I think those games really need to be remastered as well. Remastered and remade.
So I will disagree with you on that because because one, Rare Replay exists and they already got enhancements.
Isn't Rare Replay like almost 10 years old now, though? How old is that?
It was in Xbox. I don't remember when it came out on the Xbox One.
It was on the 360.
No, Rare Replay was Xbox One.
I need to look this up. Give me a second.
I'm almost certain Rare Replay came out on Xbox One. Unless it was a cross-gen thing.
For the Fable thing you brought up, 100%, you're right about Fable. That game needs it more. But I was gonna say, I wonder if it's a tactical thing, right? Because with Fable, you got Avowed coming out. You got like all these, like Xbox has so many Western RPG studios, so they're probably thinking, we don't really like Fable. We don't really need to do that. But when it comes to let's say the Gears, actually no way, it doesn't matter because they have a first-person shoot. They have Doom.
Activision Blizzard coming in.
Forget it. Yeah, just do Fable. Fable would have been a much better move for sure.
Yeah. I think Fable would be great.
Yeah, and personally, as someone who hasn't played any of the Fable games before, I would love to. I would love to jump into the Fable franchise, especially before the new one comes out. And I don't really want to go back and play a 10-year-old game, if I'm being honest. So, yeah,
20-year-old game. Try a little longer. But
another one, I wouldn't mind a Dragon Age. I know that's not an Xbox studio, but like a Dragon Age.
I maintain a Dragon Age collection is going to happen, like the Mass Effect collection.
It has to happen. It's going to happen eventually, right?
But I don't like Dragon Age games.
I've only played Inquisition.
I've only played Inquisition as well.
I loved Inquisition.
Y'all got to play Origins. Origins is a masterpiece. Absolutely love it.
But no, for me, I think Fable needs to touch up more. Banjo, you don't like. I know Ethan corrected it. Rare Replay came out 2015, so like that got the up. I believe it's 4K now. Like it's upscaled to 4K. It has the HDR. Like
it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game. Like Banjo is fine. If they're going to do Banjo, either give me a new game completely or do a remake, from the ground up. Just rebuild it and reintroduce everyone to a platformer that was from 30 years ago almost at this point. But yeah, no, Gears, I think it'll probably happen. My feeling is maybe they're not doing Fable because the new Fable is coming sooner than the new Gears 4. Right? Like Gears 6 is going to be taking longer than Fable.
Yeah. We I don't think we've even seen anything about Gears 6 yet, have we? Any teasers or
no? Just the coalition saying they're developing it.
Yeah, at least we've seen something about Fable.
They also said they're making another game before Gear 6, right?
Yeah, they are. Kryloran says 100% agree on Dragon Age, another series with top tier lore.
You get so lost in that game with lore, just like Mass Effect. It's just you just get lost in the lore. It's awesome.
With Dragon Age, I'm not out like it's not even a fan thing, it's just a money move now. Like you do a Dragon Age Legendary Edition, like that's just money. So I'm surprised. I imagine EA is actually doing it already. I don't know who's making it. I don't know who's helping out with that, but I'll be surprised if no one was if that wasn't in the works.
Yeah.
I would also like a Elder Scrolls, like a remake collection of all the previous games.
I don't know if you put those type of games into a collection.
Why not? Because they're too long?
They're too big. That's not a game you really collect. You know, you remaster those games individually and put them out.
Yeah, okay.
I would agree with that point.
Like,
I would love to see more.
Remaster. I would like to see a remastered version of all of them. Because like Skyrim's had like 5 remasters now.
Morrowind needs it the most. Morrowind is crusty, just to be polite about
Even
it.
Oblivion, I would say.
No, Oblivion's a masterpiece. I don't know.
Well, we've talked about that.
Playing it now, obviously, it definitely does need a remake or remaster.
Yeah, I guess.
We've talked about that previously, though. Like there was that rumor that In Exile is going to do some Fallout remasters and stuff. So like, I'm sure Xbox is having those conversations about like, what do we remaster? When do we remaster it? Does it need it? When like.
And, you know, I think these are inevitables. Like, they're going to happen. I think they just want to get timing down right. And, like, when should we put these remasters out, you know, to be able to bolster sales of future projects? I think that's what they're doing with this whole Gears collection. Like, we all knew this was going to happen eventually, and it's been a long time coming. But they're doing it now because they want to promote the new Gears game, and they want to bring people back into the fold.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I am very much in the camp that remasters are great, but not if they're taking away from resources that could be used for new IPs and new games. Because right now, Xbox doesn't really need remasters. They don't need to be like, oh, remember, we have Forza, Halo, and Gears. Here's more Forza, Halo. We need new IPs.
Give me games that we want remasters of 20 years down the road. That's what we need. We need new games.
But if you're like, here's Fusion Frenzy remastered, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that one makes sense. Like, I'm fine with that one.
That'd be cool.
Because we haven't had a Fusion Frenzy 7.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Okay. Oh, Amon's getting some water. Yeah, Cheveruni says, yes, new IPs, please. And that's something, I say that because that's something we saw PlayStation do well last generation. Like Horizon was a new IP that blew up for them. And as much as I don't really like Horizon, you can't deny like new IPs are what is going to continue to drive the brand.
Death
like
Stranding. I mean, you take your pick. There's so many PlayStation new IPs that were just, you know, nobody ever thought of, and they've been incredible.
But they're still doing their old IPs too. That's what I like. Xbox needs to find that balance of, hey, we have our classic IPs that we're going to keep iterating on, but here are our new characters that we're bringing into the fold, right?
Right.
So, any last comments on that, or we'll move on?
No, we're good.
Okay. Story number 2, nothing exciting here. Just our Game Pass update. So twice a month, we let you know what's coming to Game Pass so you can plan your gaming accordingly. Available right now is Her Story on PC, which I hear is fantastic. Jurassic World Evolution 2 for cloud console PC. Little Witch in the Woods for console and PC. That game, it's Kyle in the chat was talking about. So if you want to play that, it's on Game Pass. Skate for cloud. Umurangi Generation Special Edition, cloud console PC. We also have Farming Simulator 22 for cloud console PC and Vampire Survivors for PC, which I believe is getting amazing reviews.
Yeah, it's plastered all over the Steam page. Everyone's loving it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what that game is, but it's apparently amazing. May 24th, we're getting Floppy Nights for cloud console PC and Hard Space Shipbreaker for PC. May 26th, we get Sniper Elite 5 for console and PC. And then May 27th, we get Cricket 2022 for PC and Pac-Man Museum Plus for cloud console and PC. Tay, any of these games piquing your interest? Anything here you're going to dive into and actually play?
No.
No.
Not at all. And I guess maybe we'll get into this a little bit more in the next topic, but you know, Game Pass is great and has its great value, right? But Microsoft needs to be a three-way approach with Game Pass. I'll probably speak a little bit more on that. And the first approach is pretty much you need third-party games to come in days as well.
Yeah.
And I think the second approach is you need your first party games to come in, which is that's happening. And the third one is, even if you don't get a third party day and day game, you need it to show up a couple of months later. And I think that's what makes everybody like happy and stuff. I see all these games on Game Pass, and I'm not saying they're bad games, some of them I could play or whatever, but none of them is exciting. And I think that's the issue there. I don't look at it and say that's exciting. Those games I would never buy in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like, if my down free time, I'll go check them out for sure. I might look at the vampire one you guys were talking about. You guys said, that has good reviews, so I might check that out. But yeah, I ain't really looking for any of those games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ethan, what about you?
Yeah, the vampire game, because I just kept seeing so much about it on Steam. It was overwhelmingly positive reviews on there. I was on last night looking for a PC game to play. So I might check that out. Sniper Elite 5, I've always looked at these Sniper Elite games and I've watched gameplay and they seem pretty cool. And I've never just gone, it's not one of those games that I would go out and actually buy with real money. So, it being on Game Pass, I might give that a shot, see how it feels. And then, it's kind of sad because as an avid baseball fan, I've always wanted to learn about cricket. And I think one of the best ways to do it is through video games, but these cricket games look awful. Like I've watched gameplay of them. They look absolutely terrible. Like I don't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole. So maybe I'll have to delay until Cricket 26 comes out and maybe they actually get their act together.
It's so I want to touch on the Sniper Elite games because Cheveruni says the Sniper Elite games are quality, which Ethan, this is before your time, but I was actually given the privilege of reviewing Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2.
Oh, I remember when that came out. That was a weird name.
yeah, it's a very long name. I got the Ultimate Edition, and I went into it thinking like, okay, I've heard about these games. It's gonna probably be bad, and I had a blast with that game. It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The story was nonsense. It was basically just like, okay, here's some missions. Here's some targets to take out. You can do whatever you want. Like figure out how to take them out. So like you could climb mountains, you could go in guns blazing, you could do literally so many things in that game. Like
it's kind of like SOCOM or the old Tom Clancy games where you're just kind of dropped in an area and it's like you have this mission, go do it.
Kind of
type of thing. That's cool.
Kind of.
I like that.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I don't know because the Sniper Elite games are different than the contract ones, so I don't know if gameplay they have some similarities. Like there's the kill shot cam or whatever. So when you shoot someone, it gets very graphic. Like it'll give you like an X-ray view of their body. So like if you shoot someone in the testicles, you're gonna get a shot of their like.
Yeah, I remember. Like I think one of them took place in World War II or something, and you were on a mission to snipe Hitler, and like there's an achievement if you shot him in the balls or something like that. So I remember that from somewhere, but ever since then I heard about that. I wanted to play one of these games.
Yeah, that game could be a lot of fun if you're on the fence about it.
Those comments hurt me so bad. Like as soon as you said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, there's a video on my channel if you want to see some like weird bullets like explode. Like it's
kind of like in the old NFL blitz games or whatever when you did a good hit and you see the bones breaking and stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure. Happy Cloud Gamer. I will address that comment in a minute, Happy Cloud, because I think we're going to be talking about that. But Aman, I want to get your thoughts. Game Pass drop for the second half of this month. Anything there for you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was hoping FIFA 22 was going to be on there.
I thought it was going to be.
You hyped cricket up enough. You got to try it out. Come on.
No, okay. Those cricket games are not very good. I'm going to agree with you on that one. The baseball games looks fun. What's it? MLB. They look fun.
Yeah.
That's one I'm planning to check out. I've downloaded it, so I think that might be my gateway into baseball, but we'll see.
We'll play some multiplayer. I'll hit some bombs off of you. It'll be fun.
Nothing there for me, really.
That's okay. So for me, the only game, well, there might be. I might download the Pac-Man Museum collection and just play that just for nostalgia's sake. It's nothing like, oh my god, I'm gonna put hours and hours into Pac-Man. Yeah. It's just like, okay, it's cool, it's Pac-Man. Like probably some easy achievements like eat a ghost or something. So I'll probably download that one just for the hell of it. But Floppy Knights looks very interesting. This might be a Kevin game because this looks like a tactical like strategy kind of
that's
game
a Kevin
going
game.
on. Yeah, I'm not sold on the art style. I think there's a card system involved. I've only looked at like a few screenshots, but this is one that like my interest is peaked, but also KO the Kangaroo comes out next Friday, and that's really all I care about.
We're gonna put some hours into that, right, Kevin? Hell
like Sniper Elite 5, you're coming out the day before. Like maybe I'll throw you on for an hour or something. But like,
to be fair, KO the Kangaroo looks really cool. It looks
I'm
really
excited.
fun to play.
Yeah,
it's a kangaroo with boxing gloves.
It looks fun. Yeah,
I see people calling him generic Crash Bandicoot or whatever. They're like just insulting him.
The art style is pretty similar to Crash 4. I'm not.
But KO the Kangaroo has been a thing since the early since Crash. Like
I don't think many people know that though.
I haven't heard of it until like
they haven't made new games about it in so long. So
yeah, so I'm super excited for 3D platforming collectathon. You know, that's right up my alley there. Any last suggestions before we get into our fun topic for the show?
Nope.
Okay, guys. Well, light news week, so we're going to go to a fun topic and be discussing what we think Xbox should get for Xbox Game Pass to mitigate the losses of Redfall and Starfield. Each of us have brought 3 or more, but we're only going to go around the room and give 3 that we think should be added to Xbox Game Pass to save their 2022. Now, this is a follow-up from Happy Gamer Cloud Gamer's question. He says, we know Starfield's not coming this year. Should Xbox go and get the new Saint Row first for Xbox or something like that? So I don't know who wants to start. Amon, this was actually given us to by Hopple in our Discord. So thank you, Hopple. You're not only a Patreon supporter, but you can give us fun suggestions if you go into our Discord. So Amon, you were the one that saw it. I'm going to start with you. What's one game, because we'll go around the room, what's one game you think Xbox needs to bring to Game Pass this year to save their 2022? And you're muted.
Amon, you're muted.
You're muted.
Get a fancy new mic and you just mute yourself. Crazy.
I'm gonna bend the rules here a bit. I'm not gonna say one game, but I want them to do a month where they give us all the big hits of this year, including Elden Ring, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and every Star Wars Skywalker Saga, all of them in 1 month. I can definitely see that happening.
Give us Elden Ring. No way.
They very well could. You know,
it's still like the best-selling game out there right now.
Money talks. You know, money talks. You know,
they got money. They got 14 million copies worth.
Dumb amount of money.
Give From Software $1 billion. Throw $1 billion there.
Out of here. Out of here.
Might as well buy him at that point.
No, but okay, maybe not Elden Ring, but other big games that have come out this year, like Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Star Wars Skywalker Saga, WWE 2K22, all those games. Throw them in Game Pass in a month, because they have 2 separate drops each month. Throw them in there, and yeah, I can definitely see them doing something like that.
Okay, so were those all 3 of the things you wanted to say, or are
no, I have more.
Okay, your first one is the backlog of big titles for this year.
Yeah.
Okay, Ethan, I think I might be echoing through Amon, but Ethan, what is your first game they should put on Game Pass?
So as much as I'm not excited about this game, it's still a Marvel game, and that's Marvel Midnight Suns. I think this would be a really good pickup for them. We see the relationship between the Marvel game-making studios and Xbox Game Pass. We saw Guardians of the Galaxy get on there. Marvel's Avengers is on there. I think it would be a good fit for Midnight Suns to also be on there. And, people eat up Marvel content. It would just be a good third-party game to throw on there. It would make me play it because I'm not buying this game. I'm only playing it if it's on Game Pass, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like that. So it would be pretty exciting to see. I
agree with you. I'm day one regardless. I will buy Midnight Suns, but if
it has cards and turn-based, let's go.
If it wants to save me some money, please put it on Xbox Game Pass. Happy Cloud Gamer says, I think this summer we should get Resident Evil 8, which it's a good suggestion.
That would be a good ad.
Wait, actually, I want to change up my thing I said previously.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back.
No, it's just a tiny little
Slow
update.
Your roll.
It's just a tiny little update. Include the backlog of the biggest hits of this year and last year.
Bro. bro. All
It's
right.
just the biggest hits of all time. Let's just go with that.
God
But
of War.
Going to the Resident Evil 8, they have Resident Evil 7 on Game Pass. So, I mean, they have that relationship. It would make sense to throw 8 on there.
Oh, you all right, Tay? All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. It's your turn. What third-party game do you think Xbox Game Pass should get this year?
To be honest, they're in a tricky spot. There isn't really much they can do. Everything they're doing is mitigating at this point. You know, because I think if we go to the original, I could give you a game, but we go to the original question itself, right? Which was basically, you know, what can help them or save this this gen. I think it's a bit of both. I think you need to showcase to completely do a blowout.
Yeah,
I think you need some third-party games because, like I said to you previously, the problem with Game Pass now is that they're not giving you exclusive first-party games. They're not giving you third-party day one games, and they're not giving you third-party games that come out maybe 3 months time. Like if you look at last year, they gave you MLB The Show day and date. They gave you Outriders day and date. So they ticked that box, which is pretty good. Then they gave you Scarlet Nexus, I think 3 months after it came out. They haven't really done that this year at all. So with the whole Starfield situation, I think what they need to, like, honestly, for me, I would say get Hogwarts Legacy. Okay. But I don't think you can go. I think Sony might have the rights to that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to show up. I think Hogwarts Legacy it's a huge game. Regardless of if, I think just the name itself is going to, because it's going to have conversation. People are going to talk about it for whatever reason. It's good, it's bad, whatever. It's Hogwarts, it's this and that. It's Harry Potter. So I think that's going to give you something anyway. So people are going to, like, you know, go around that game. People might just want to check it out. I think Hogwarts Legacy does really, it does something, I don't want to say special, but I think that's the game I would go for if I was Microsoft.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point by Tay, that he emphasized that it's a huge game. I'm thinking maybe we need a huge game to replace the huge games that got taken off for this year.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to take away Starfield, you need to add something that's going to put a lot of hours of gameplay into. So that's a good pickup.
Yep. Shebaruni in the chat agrees, says that's a good call. I think it is a good call. It was on my list here of games.
I'm sorry.
No, I got plenty more. That I think they should add. But Hogwarts Legacy is one of those, like, I think it might be tied up with PlayStation because we did see the state of play. And the state of play, I have to say, was probably the best state of play for a solo game that they've had. Like that, I didn't care about Hogwarts Legacy before that state of play. Then afterwards, I was like, this game kind of looks good. Like it kind of changed my whole opinion on Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not a Harry Potter guy. I don't care about that universe, but it just looks like a really good RPG.
Yeah.
So I'll throw my first one out there. Gotham Knights. We talked about it last week. I think Gotham Knights has to be day one Game Pass. It'll be October. It was coming out a few weeks before Starfield anyway. It won't replace Starfield, but it will help lessen the blow of people like, okay, I was looking forward to playing Starfield the first 2 weeks, but like now you can play Gotham Knights for those weeks instead. Like your time can be put towards that. It's got the big name. It's a Batman property. It's coming from a studio that hasn't put out a game in quite some time. They take forever. I know last week's gameplay trailer has been a little mixed depending on where you look, because some people are like, Red Hood doesn't look very good, but I think it will still be a great game, and I think it's going to sell really well. So I think Game Pass would be smart addition.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Aman, what's your second one?
My second pick is Modern Warfare 2.
You suck.
Yeah, again, Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, so they technically already own Activision as a studio. Not really, but they sort of do. So they can still, they're going to be paying them money and eventually get that money back after the acquisition is done. So yeah, I think it's kind of a no-brainer at this point, having Modern Warfare 2 day one in Game Pass. That's a big deal. Call of Duty games sell really well, and they generally have a wide appeal. So yeah, I think that would be a big move, and instantly bring in a sharp number of Xbox Game Pass subscribers as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a good plan, but can they do that?
That's a good question. I don't know the legal, like, are they allowed to make a Game Pass deal for a Activision Blizzard game while the acquisition is still being looked at? I don't know.
That'd be something Hogue Law would have to look into.
For sure.
I feel like legally, I feel like they can. I just wonder if it's just like they push it too much, like, you know.
Wouldn't that
because it look a bit funny? Because the comment you said is pretty interesting, which is they're gonna pay Activision whatever, but they're gonna get that money back when it goes through. So at that point, like someone might be like, "Yo, that's a bit dodgy right there," you know?
Yeah,
I think we call that money laundering where I'm from. No, listen, if they can do it, I think it would be an incredibly smart move.
Yeah.
It would drive people to the service, and that would be the holiday right there sorted for Xbox, because the amount of people that want Call of Duty every year.
And if I'm being honest, this is like the first Call of Duty game in a while that I'm actually looking forward to, because the 2019 Modern Warfare reboot, I really enjoyed the campaign, and I really want to see where that story goes. So I'm looking forward to this one.
For sure. Ethan, number 2.
So I'm debating, because I think the other game I have is going to be said. I'm pretty sure, but I have an idea that's not necessarily a game but a deal, and I think I want to say that one because this game's going to be brought up. And if it's not, I'll bring it up. But I think they should make a big deal with Ubisoft Plus. You know how we had the EA Play come into Game Pass? I think we need to see the backlog of Assassin's Creeds get thrown on the Game Pass. I think that would be a huge pickup. It would give people a lot of content to go through. I'm not just talking about the last 3 games. I'm talking about the originals. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Bring all these original IPs that were so popular on the 360, update them, bring them into the fold on Game Pass. I think it would be a huge pickup. Make that deal with Ubisoft. It would be a great idea for them.
It's funny you say that, because Happy Cloud Gamer in the chat said, before I go, PlayStation's getting Ubisoft Plus. I want to clarify.
See that
they're getting Ubisoft Plus Classics. I don't think they will do this, but we can we see Ubisoft Plus part of Game Pass before the family sub is coming? There is a rumor right now that Ubisoft Plus Classics is also going to be coming to Game Pass. And as it is with the new PlayStation Plus. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could be. It's not fully what you're saying, Ethan, but it is kind of partially what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, because I would love to replay Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. I'd love to replay the Ezio collection, you know, all those amazing original Revelations, Brotherhood. I haven't played Unity yet. That's another one that I want to play that I haven't played yet, you know. So throw all those classic Ubisoft games on there. I think people would eat that up.
I think you're going to see a lot of contract changes now, in the sense that, like, because Sony is now taking, you know, the whole Spartacus thing seriously now, you're going to see situations where maybe Microsoft wanted that, you know, Ubisoft Classics, but then they're like, sorry, Sony's in this whole Game Pass business now, and they're telling us that they're going to give us extra money if you don't put on your platform. So I think you're going to see a lot of situations now where, like, games are being gate kept now.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering if these companies are thinking, like, can we make more money off of going on to both services, or can we get an exclusivity deal with either PlayStation or Xbox, and they could give us, we can sell it for more. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, if PlayStation have locked Ubisoft Classics behind the PS Plus Premium, I think Xbox can easily go ahead and make a deal with EA and lock EA Play exclusively to Game Pass as well. So that would.
I feel like EA was never like. I feel like Xbox was never really like, okay, you know, just keep your your service on our platform. But I feel like the way Sony is like, though, I won't be surprised if they say no. We'll give you an extra $2 million to not put it on Game
Pass. And I think that's what Sony needs to do to stay competitive, because we know they're not putting their first party titles day one. They're just not.
Yeah, that's right. But what I can see going forward is all these major third-party publishers will have these sort of deals with both platforms, and the main driving points for each individual platform will be their day one games and their first-party exclusives. Right. So I think that's a natural way to progress for these streaming services.
It all comes down to who's going to pay more and what the contract says. That's where I'm at with it. Like, if PlayStation's trying to lock down certain subscription services like Ubisoft Plus to their subscription service, then expect Microsoft to counter and go to another, because that's just competition.
I don't know if I was the head of one of these publishing arms and I wanted to sell my subscription service, I'd want it on both platforms. It's just more exposure, more money, more eyes on their games.
For sure, but it might not be up to them, right? Like it might be take this deal or PlayStation's walking away.
Yeah, so they would have to pick or choose whether to go to PlayStation or Microsoft. So be interesting to see.
Yeah. Tay, you got another game that can come to the service?
This game is not a game I actually care about. I would never buy this game. Even if it came on Game Pass, I wouldn't even touch it. I don't know if it's coming out this year, but do you know that Avatar game by Ubisoft?
Avatar. I'm actually excited for that.
Oh, that game was garbage.
I love Avatar.
The only reason I'm saying it is because Avatar's a big franchise. It's a casual game, whatever. Maybe it might get some people looking at at Microsoft. Maybe that's the kind of angle they want to go for, because I think the main thing is when we think about Game Pass, right? I know people were saying that, like, oh, we'll start for this because people are going to unsubscribe. Some people will unsubscribe because that's what they wanted. But the truth is this: the core guys are not unsubscribing. They're not unsubscribing because most of them have done the 1-year conversion, so they have 3 years left. They ain't going nowhere. It's the casual people, the people who are just kind of like chilling, that you need to appease with these kind of deals, right? So I would say maybe, as we said, like you said, Midnight Suns, that will kind of satisfy the core guys, whatever, but you kind of need a game that's going to satisfy the casuals. And I could jump into the third point, which is basically going to be, you might need to look at Japan and say, well, we need to kind of like give them something, like we're doing pretty well there. We can't just like slow this momentum. So I guess in that case, then you might need to go for Tales of Arise and just kind of appease that crowd.
Oh, yes.
And also, you kind of appease, the Western crowd as well. So I would say Tales of Arise.
Good shout out with Tales, absolutely.
I love Tales, my favorite game series. But
yeah, that's a really good point, though. Reach out, grab a JRPG to throw on there. That's a really good point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. I have a list of games, so I didn't just pick 3. But number 5, I wrote that shitty Avatar game. I didn't even write the actual name of the game because I don't understand why people like Avatar. The movie's garbage, and this game does not look good.
Kevin,
I disagree with you on that, Kevin. Stop it.
The movie was awesome.
The movie was awful. The movie was really good. What's wrong? Pocahontas in space.
And the new movie's going to be better. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited.
Hopefully.
I'm hoping it is, because from what I remember, they were like, we're not making it yet because the technology's not there. So I'm hoping it blows my mind in some way.
The new movie is all about ocean-faring tribes and stuff. So that's what excites me the most. I love the ocean. So it's going to be fun.
The way of water.
The way of water.
Cheveruni says, whoa, and he spelled it, oh my god,
correctly. Thank you,
Chevy. No, what are you doing?
That's not whoa, that's whoa.
Thank you, Aman.
No, that's whoa. Don't listen to him, Chev.
My second pick, guys, and I got a list of 7 here, so I gotta choose. I think I'm gonna go with a point Tay just made and choose One Piece Odyssey. I think.
Oh yes.
I think. Because One Piece is huge, like worldwide, especially in Japan, though, right? And this is a JRPG from Bandai. Their previous One Piece games have just been like Musou games. This is actually like an original story, has the creator involved. Like this game has all the keys for success to appeal to One Piece fans. And if they can get this to Game Pass, I think that would be huge, especially in Japan, where we see like cloud gaming blowing up, Series S sales are doing well. So I think One Piece Odyssey needs to be the move here.
Yeah, really good call out. Really, really legendary franchise. I mean, it would be a perfect pickup for him. And everybody knows One Piece in the States too. Even if you're not a huge anime fan or a manga fan, you know what One Piece is. So you see that on the front page of Game Pass, you're like, ooh, that looks cool. I'm going to play that.
Yeah, I think One Piece is a really good shout out though.
Yeah,
I do wonder about the quality of those games. Like for example, with Tales of Arise, I know it's good. We all know it's good. And with One Piece though, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from that game. So it could be like what I always tell people about Game Pass is this year. I don't care about how many people actually have played the game. I care about, like, it's kind of like YouTube. If you're a content creator, it's not about the views per se, because if you go to your retention and it's garbage, then who cares at that point, right?
Yeah.
It's about how many people, like, okay, how many subscribers. So is One Piece going to bring in those subscribers? Number one.
Engagement, right?
Yeah, and the engagement, because when Microsoft talked about the I was going to say Gran Turismo, no, the Forza situation, right?
Yeah.
I look at that and I say, yeah, but how many people just clicked on it and played it for like 2 minutes? I'm left because I clicked on it. I mean, everyone was talking about it. Oh, Forza racing game, great game.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I think it was this idea that this game isn't getting Game of the Year because it's a racing game. So now you have Xbox gamers and you have just gamers in general being like, yeah, I don't agree with that. And Forza is the medium for that conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna press it and click and play it. So I'm wondering, like, with something like One Piece, do I click it, play it, but then what if the game sucks? Then I just leave in 5 minutes. Then at that point, was it really worth it on Game Pass?
For sure. Aman, I saw you Googling when I brought up One Piece Odyssey. What were you looking up, buddy?
Oh no, I was trying to type something in the chat, but it was too long. I couldn't send it.
Oh,
Never mind.
okay. Well, it's your turn for number 3 on your list. Your final pick.
My final game. Some of you may say I'm out of line, but I am speaking sense here. I think Persona 5 will come on game. I think Xbox should try to get Persona 5 on Game Pass. At least try, because we've seen Atlas do these surveys about would you like to see Persona games on other platforms other than PlayStation, and now a better time than ever. Xbox Series S just outsold PlayStation in Japan. So these JRPGs are doing that, and adding Persona 5 on there, arguably one of the best JRPGs of the last decade.
Sorry to cut across you. Xbox Series X sold what?
Xbox Series S outsold PS5 last week
in Japan.
PS5 last week.
Yeah.
Oh, put Tales of Arise, put Persona 5, put all the JRPGs in there. You gotta keep that momentum.
So that's a game PlayStation have had locked behind their console for what, since the PS3 generation, I guess. I think it would severely benefit Xbox if because I see a lot of Xbox gamers on Twitter asking for Persona 5, Final Fantasy 7 remake, and I think adding this is the right time to add Persona 5.
And
gap.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, ultimately, Atlas is owned by Sega, and Sega has a working relationship with Xbox. It's not really out of the realm of possibilities.
Exactly. And I think what makes this even more possible is the surveys Atlas have been doing. They've literally been surveying people, asking them, would you like to see Persona 5 on other platforms?
They do it every year, though. Like, I filled out 3 of these now, and they haven't responded. They're not responding. They're putting Soul Hackers 2 on Xbox, which is like great. I'm glad we're finally getting like an Atlas game. But I filled out these surveys take 40 minutes to complete, Atlas, and when I tell you to bring games to Xbox and you just ignoring me every year, I'm getting a little upset. So no, I'm with you. Persona 5 Royal, get it in Game Pass, 100%.
I'm gonna jump on that too as well, just simply for the fact that I think from a mindshare perspective, it does a whole lot more. It kind of solidifies this idea that Xbox can get JRPG games. I think that's a huge win. I think we might underestimate how that might be important for that Japanese market as well. If they see things like Series S outsold PS5, and they see Persona 5 arriving, because at that point, nobody's really saying oh well, PS5 has supply constraints. The casuals don't care about those kind of topics. They just care about did it sell or not? End of story. So I think Persona 5 is a huge shout, and I'm baffled why it hasn't happened yet. Simply because, for me, all Microsoft needs to do is tell Sega pretty much, listen, if Atlas don't like us, fair enough. You own the IP. How about you give it to somebody else to just make a port? Atlas doesn't have to make the port. Someone else makes a port and just drop it on our console. End of story. Atlas doesn't have to do anything with us. And I think once that happens, it's okay. And I look at Sega and I say, you own them. I'm not trying to sound bad, but I don't know. I feel like it's a strange situation. Because from what I see, I think Sega doesn't mind. But apparently, for Atlas doesn't want to. How does a subsidiary tell you what to do? Drop it on Game Pass. Everyone's happy. Everyone makes money. It is what it is.
Atlas is weird because there's never any consistency to where they bring games.
Right.
Because we just saw them release Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Persona 4 Arena was only on Xbox 360. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax came to everything but Xbox. So like how are you gonna the original game? You're not gonna put it on the console. Like nobody else played the game. So they just make weird decisions where they're going to bring their games. But I'm with you. I think Sega should be like, all right, we don't like to flex our muscles as your parent company, but like it's time to play ball with some people.
Yeah, especially when they just say you don't need to get involved. Microsoft's giving us the money to hire other developers to port the game, not make the game, port the game. You guys ain't involved. It's kind of like I'm thinking about Demon Souls. Sorry, the Demon Souls remake as well. Like they weren't involved in that. Like they just go a different. Was it Blue
Point?
Blue Point to make it. End of story. Everyone wins. But like I think when I think about these like games we're talking about, I think it's really about. It might not. It's really for me. It's really about changing the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think, and to the point, I think these games can be important, but I think the most important thing is really just a showcase blowout. I think you need to make everybody remember and think and say, we do have games, and we're going to show you gameplay of Fable and what Val looks like. You need to show everybody that like we have all these games, and it's going to change the conversation about Starfield, like not showing up. So I think that's the point that needs to go on. I know people like the idea of get games on Game Pass or whatever it is, and I think that is a good thing you kind of need to do. But really, it's a showcase for me because my friends in particular, like these third-party games are good when they arrive day and date on Game Pass. But the truth is, if they're on other consoles, it's kind of meh. Like it's okay. You're not really gonna grab PlayStation 4 guys or PC, maybe not PC, but like Nintendo guys to your console if they can get the game somewhere else. But when you show them like all these amazing gameplay clips and it says we have 30-something studios, here's all the games they're working on, those people who subscribe to Game Pass are going to see that and say, I subscribe for Starfield. Starfield is delayed. I'm not going to unsubscribe because there's so many games coming out in 2023. I think that's the main, that should be the focal point.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's a fair point. I don't know. I feel like they need something. Unless they have some secrets at the showcase, which I'm still firmly in the camp. I think they have something to show us. Otherwise, what's the point of a 90-minute showcase? But I think the third-party day and date games this year will certainly help if they can lock that down. So, Ethan, it's your turn for your final pick. What third-party game do you think should come to the service?
Really surprised this hasn't been said yet. Saints Row. This is a game that a lot of people still have questions about. We're not too sure about it, but at the end of the day, Saints Row is the most successful GTA clone ever made, and it's a very popular franchise. It was very popular back in the day, and it's clear that Rockstar isn't willing to make video games anymore. So people might have that itch to get into an open world sandbox type world where you can just go wild and shoot guns and blow things up. I mean, like back to the point that Tay made earlier about we need these big games. This would be one of those big games, a big open world experience that you can just hop into. I think that's what we need to replace that hole that Starfield's going to leave us.
I forgot Saints Row was a game that was coming out. That's probably why.
A lot of people did.
Because I've never been into Saints Row. So if this came to the service, it doesn't move the needle for me. And
I loved Saints Row on the 360. I played 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely adored them. I think I played 4 a little bit.
So you're a Saints Row fan. So like, how does what you've seen of the new one? What are your takes? Because from what I've seen online, the reception to the new Saints Row has been underwhelming.
Right. So the thing with Saints Row is it began as kind of just this traditional GTA clone. It was about a gang. It was about going around the streets, committing crimes, doing stuff, kind of like you do in GTA. Over time, it evolved its own identity, though. The Saints Row, just absolute absurdism. Like some of the most ridiculous, like if you think of, I guess, a movie franchise I can compare it to is Fast and Furious. Like with every new game, this franchise just became more and more ridiculous. And, that was kind of its calling card. And this new Saints Row, a lot of people watched it. And, there's an expectation in your head when you think of Saints Row of the absurdism of the color of like you want it to be just insane. And this was really toned down, and it was kind of going back to form of Saints Row 1 and a little bit of 2. So a lot of people were like, wait, this isn't Saints Row. This is just a generic GTA clone. But at the end of the day, we really haven't seen a lot about this. They could have taken that feedback and might be implementing some new things. We'd have to see more gameplay. But again, just the fact that this is going to be an open world sandbox, a big single player game, I think this is something that they could absolutely use to pad Game Pass for the second quarter or the second half of the year.
Do we know if that's co-op?
I'd imagine it would be.
Okay.
Because all the original Saints Row co-op. You could play couch co-op.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I was just asking. Shout out Luke Lore from the Xbox Expansion Pass stopping by. Says, "Oof, slim pickings in the AAA space for games to pick." He thinks Hogwarts is unlikely. Avatar is possible. Gotham Knights would surprise me at the start, but not in 2023. Yeah, no, like I said, I hope Gotham Knights comes. I don't expect it because they're already like, buy our $300 pre-order statue, and I'm like, whoa, now.
I might.
looks dope though, but
looks cool.
For sure.
I got questions for you guys actually.
Yeah, okay.
The first one is I actually think Saints Row is a game that I think everyone, like the hardcore and casual, will jump on just to try it out. So I do think that's a really, really good pick, man. What would you guys prefer, Gotham Knights or Midnight Suns? That's the first question. Second question is
Gotham Knights.
Well, what do you think makes sense for Game Pass then? Gotham Knights.
Midnight Suns.
Like, what do you
I think Gotham
Knights
Knights would make more sense because I think people might be oversaturated with Marvel games at this point. If you threw on a good DC, a brand new DC IP into Game Pass, I think that would fire a lot of people up.
I'm going Gotham Knights for both questions because Gotham Knights is co-op, and I think a big play for Game Pass is playing with other people, because I remember listening to an interview with Drinkbox, the developers behind Nobody Saves the World, and originally that game was single player. Xbox came back to them and was like, hey, we want your game for Game Pass, can you make it co-op? So like clearly Xbox thinks that co-op is something they want in these types of games. So for me, Gotham Knights 100% would be the choice if Xbox was choosing.
I would go Gotham Knights for both answers because I think it has a wider appeal than Midnight Suns very easily. And Midnight Suns, again, is a very niche game, turn-based tactical game. I'm going to play it for sure day one, but it might not interest a lot of other people like Ethan. Ethan's not into it. But so yeah, I think Gotham Knights will have the wider appeal and is the higher quality AAA game.
I agree. I think the reason why Midnight Suns doesn't fall into that just because it's
very niche
game, right?
It's a card game.
Yeah.
I could imagine some of my friends speaking, oh, Marvel, and then I see it was like, what's all this deck building stuff and card? Right. Midnight Suns like it's open world kind of game. You can move around and do stuff. And I think the key thing you said is co-op. I think that's important. So yeah, Midnight Suns for both.
Yeah, I'm over here like, oh man, I can't wait to build my decks in Midnight Suns.
Same. I'm really looking forward to Midnight Suns, but to the vast majority of gamers, it might not be their cup of tea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tay, your third and final pick that you think should come to Game Pass?
Tough one. I think earlier on they should have got Dying Light 2.
Okay.
I think that actually should have been a game to get, because I think it kind of keeps that narrative of Xbox can get third-party AAA games. I think they missed the ball when that didn't happen. There was this idea that maybe they didn't do that deal because they're saving up for Elden Ring, right? In a couple of months' time. And they were like, okay, it's too much money now if we do Dying Light 2 and Elden Ring. I can't really pick one at this moment. I think the last thing I said was, I think I'm just going with Persona. I think Persona is one that should be there. I think it's really important. It might not get you a lot of new subscribers, but I think it changes the conversation, because now people say, what's all about Starfield anymore? Oh, they got Persona 5. Yeah, it's an old game, but it changed the narrative. It's like now they're getting like these top JRPG games, so I think that's what I would go for.
It'd be new to the Xbox ecosystem. I guarantee that a lot of the Xbox fan base has not played Persona. So
yeah,
that's
and it would also change wide perception that PlayStation has JRPGs, Xbox doesn't.
Right.
Mhm, for
Definitely
sure.
need to
And
diversify a library.
And you can't be
Yeah.
outselling the PlayStation and just not like using the momentum. You gotta keep pushing it.
Yeah.
And I
Double
think,
down.
Yeah, you gotta like let everybody know in Japan that like, no, we here and we're
Yeah.
gonna take over whatever. So for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll throw my final pick out there. I have 6 left. I had things like The Quarry, Klonoa. I did have Saints Row on this list actually. Huh, look at that. It was in there. Soul Hackers 2. The 2 I'm debating. And I think I'm gonna go with Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, come on. I thought you were going to say the other one, Kevin.
Ethan, listen. The other one I was debating between was Evil West, and I think that game, from all the preview coverage I've seen, looks phenomenal. It's a AA game, but I think it's going to perform like a AAA. Like it just
Yeah.
what they're doing with that game looks absolutely stunning. All the preview coverage, I cannot wait. And that game is co-op. Like I didn't know that until the previews, but I think Evil West could be one that comes to the service. We don't have a release date yet.
Mhm.
It would fit the model I just said the Xbox likes, the co-op, keeping you and your friends engaged in the service.
Yeah.
That is an option. But I think Sonic Frontiers, if it hits the way that Sega wants it to hit, they want Sonic to have its Breath of the Wild, God of War 2018 moment. I think that would be more appealing to the mass audience, right? Like you get the family-friendly game that Xbox is often criticized for not having. You get a big IP in a year where we see Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, absolutely smashing it. So you have everyone coming in from that hype. I just think it makes a lot of sense for Sonic Frontiers to be that game that they go for.
Yeah, those are good points about, like Tay was saying, double down. Sonic's hot right now. Yeah, get that on the service. But I think there's just so many unknowns about that game right now. I haven't seen enough to really trust it at this point. And I'm going to be honest, Sonic hasn't had a good video game in decades. Let's be real here, if we're being absolutely honest. So, I think most people, when they look at Sonic video games, at least for me, I don't look at it and say quality. I look at it and go, "Oh, this is gonna be a bust." But we'll see.
A Nintendo
think
game, basically.
It is a big franchise, but I think they've just dropped the ball a bit too much. I think it's one of those ones
Yeah.
where like I could click it and try it on Game Pass and I'll play it, and I'm actually playing a good bit. It just depends how good it is, right? But I think it's the unknown factor. In this case, I would want Microsoft to play the game and then decide to put on Game Pass or not. I want them to review the game and be like, okay, this is a good enough game to go on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I feel like a game like Midnight Suns would do more for Game Passes, even though like Sonic is huge, but it's just everyone. When I think of Sonic, I don't think of quality.
Yeah. Like I
Well,
recently last year played through all of Sonic Colors Ultimate. I bought the physical edition. I played through the whole thing because, I was in the mindset of I've always, dumped on Sonic. I've said it's not good. And so I'm just going to buy the brand new game that they came out with. I know it's a remaster, but, if they're remastering, it must be a good game, right? It's whatever. It's like, it's not that special of a game. Like back in the day, if I was playing this on the N64, I'd be having a blast as a kid, but it's just, they don't, the gameplay style just hasn't aged well, I don't think.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm hearing you. I think you're all underestimating the power of the hedgehog, but it is what it is. I mean,
I hope it's great. Trust me.
I hope it's great.
I
too.
hope it's incredible, and I really want to play it. But it's just not my first thought of.
I will say where Tay was saying, I'd want Microsoft to play it and judge the quality. I think we all know Microsoft ain't playing these games because we get things like Crossfire X launching into it.
Yeah.
If anyone at Xbox had played that and then was like, "Yeah, this is good to go," throw it on the server, like I'd question some things. I'd be like, "Okay, you're fired. Like you don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, they're pretty much just trusting internal quality assurance, with these games.
Like, game works. It's not broken.
I wonder, like, if they like. So the thing about the the Sonic thing that I look at is, it's not entirely off topic, but I look at the way Sony and Bethesda are working together, right? I think like Sony was trying to get Starfield,
Mhm.
And I wonder if all that was like getting Deathloop, getting Ghostwire Tokyo, all that was just like, let's build this relationship, right? So that we can
Yeah.
go for the big ones. So in this case, I'm thinking, I mean, Microsoft and Sega already have a relationship, but the more games they put on Game Pass, the more Sega's happy, the more Sega gets the bag, and you never know, it might strengthen that relationship. So maybe putting Sonic on Game Pass when Sega might feel like Sonic might not even do well, but then because of Game Pass, it gets that additional boost, makes Sega happy. More Sega games come to Game Pass, so it could be a play, like more of a political.
That is a really good point. I like that point.
Yeah, if there's one Japanese publisher that Xbox has a good relationship with, it's Sega.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Sega kind of has like the worst, not the worst, but like when you compare to like Square Enix, right? Or like Bandai, those companies are held in higher regard these days than Sega, right?
Yeah. It didn't always used to be that way, but nowadays, yeah.
But that's my point. Like, it's just people will still associate like, oh, Sega doesn't, like you were saying, you don't associate Sonic with quality. I think they need to make a good Sonic game and then tell the world about it. And Game Pass would be a way to spread that, like, hey, new Sonic game, like, it doesn't cost me anything. And then they play it. And if it's good, which is the key, like Taye was saying, it needs to be good. Then I think that is a big win for Game Pass, and I think it's a big win for Sega. And then Sega will be like, okay, this Game Pass thing's working out for us. Like, what else can like let's chat more. What else can we next Yakuza game day and date? Like we've had all the other ones in there.
Oh, it would be so fun.
I know.
I love Yakuza.
Oh my god,
keep going with
that would be dope. That would be sick.
I think apart from Sega, I think Microsoft. I know it's a bit off topic, but I think Microsoft needs to strengthen their bonds with Capcom a lot. I think they're really important.
Yeah. Capcom's another one. The Japanese market is there for them. They just need to double down. Like I think we've been saying all show, right? Like they've made strides. Don't let up. Keep making those strides. But guys, we'll be going an hour and 45 minutes. This is our longest podcast
on a slow news week.
I swear, it always works out where we have no news and then we just talk. And we
have good conversations.
Yeah, great conversations.
There's actually a lot to talk about. I mean, in terms of like just different opinions when it comes to some of these topics as well.
Yeah,
because Game Pass is such a industry changer, and xCloud is an industry changer that like, you could just go back and forth and you could go into so much details. Like some of my friends, they like, how do you talk about games like so long? I'm like, there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot
because your mindset is looking at it as just games, but like this is a billion-euro industry. Like Microsoft doesn't make moves just on the whim. Neither does Sony. Like, everything is extremely calculated. Like you can't. And I remember saying to him, I was like, if you're in a billion-euro industry, right? You're not gonna put some CEO who just makes moves on the whim. Like you're gonna put someone who's very tactical and strategic, right? So there's a lot to analyze about these guys. Like we just said there with Microsoft and Sega putting Sonic on the Game Pass could actually just strengthen that bond. And I believe it was the same thing with Bethesda and Sony. I believe Sony was trying to strengthen that bond. We can get this big game Starfield, because I can imagine Bethesda was thinking, well, this game is going to be like the next Skyrim. Like we don't really want to make it exclusive to your console. Yeah. And I believe like Sony had to put that loop there. Here's the money for that loop. Oh, here's money for Ghostwire Tokyo. Everything is extremely calculated in this situation.
Yeah, for sure.
We're living through a crazy time to be gamers. It's fun.
Amazing time.
Amazing. And it's what's even more fun to talk about it. Like it's just great. There's always something to talk about for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I think this has been a great show. Taye, I hope you had fun. You are welcome back anytime. We will definitely get you back. I got a long list of guests to get through, but you are certainly gonna come back at some point. I can assure you that. Can you let people know where to find you, about your channel, what's going on?
You can find me on Taye Talks. That's TAYE, then TALKS, just my name, and then Talks. I'm on Twitter as well. Taye Talks is over there. Content-wise, I do podcasts, which I've been a bit more inconsistent with, but there is going to be a time when we kind of get things going. I would get some of you guys on the show as well. Content-wise as well, it's analysis channel, so we do Starfield, we do Mass Effect is the main thing we do, because there's just so much to talk about in that game.
Hell
there's characters, there's themes, all that kind of stuff. But I do some analysis videos as well, like on Xbox and the market. I'll be looking to create a separate channel just to deal with all the market stuff and to deal with the podcast. I'll just leave my main channel, Taye Talks, as analysis on characters and Mass Effect and Starfield and any of like The Witcher, any of the games that like pretty much has that RPG adventure kind of vibe. So yeah, so that's Taye Talks, TayeTalks.
Absolutely. It's Ethan. I think you'd really like that channel. His Mass Effect videos are really good.
I am huge
I
buff
agree.
for Mass Effect, so I've never found a channel that analyzes Mass Effect like that. So I'm gonna go check it out.
It's dope. It's good stuff over there.
Yeah.
But Ethan, where can people find you?
They can find me at WhiteCedar1 on Twitter and Gravy3448 on Xbox.
And Amon, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Amon_M05.
Guys, you can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1-7I and an 0-7A. Follow us at Project XTalk. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are 2 subs away from 400.
400.
Hopefully, we'll have hit that very soon. Maybe next few days. But thank you so much for the support. We are continuing the road to 1,000 subscribers. We got a lot of things coming in the future. Some changes, some announcements we're going to be making. So stay tuned for that. But until next Thursday, we will see you. Goodbye.